Hello and welcome to this week's Lightbulb Moments. Today I'm going to be talking about speaking with your children about chaos and tragedy. This is a topic that has become increasingly relevant in our day and age, both as far as things happening all over the world that may be affecting you and your children, whether it be happening right in your environment or it happening to individuals that you may know. It's also become more and more relevant given how the world works today with social media. Because of social media, things such as Facebook or Twitter, or even Instagram, we are much more connected, and of course online newspapers, we are much more connected with what is happening around the world, not just as far as the events go, but oftentimes as far as actual individuals and personal stories go. And so because of this, whether there's something that's actually happening, chaos and tragedy happening in your actual environment, or happening someplace else from where you are, you feel very connected to it. And it's important to keep in mind, how do we deal with this with our children? How do we share this with our children? And so the most important thing to keep in mind is when it's something that's happening far away from you, not in your actual environment, be aware of the fact of if your children are going to be aware of it or not. If your children are going to pick up on what is happening, whether it be in school, whether it be in camp from their peers, whether it be on the playground, whether it be overhearing other adults' conversation, and they're going to hear what's going on, make sure that they hear it from your mouth. It'll make them feel much more secure to hear it directly from you. If they're afraid of something and they go to you and they say, I hear that something is going on, I'm hearing this story, I'm hearing that story, and I'm feeling scared, if you as a parent say, don't worry about it, everything is fine, this is giving them not only the lesson of not knowing how to connect and label, understand, and cope with their feelings, but it's also, unfortunately, giving them the message that maybe you as a parent can't be trusted. If you are downplaying what they are feeling, or you're telling them nothing is going on, when in fact, they know that something is going on that can make them feel very scared. And the most important piece that I'm going to keep reiterating today is for your children to feel trust in you during these times and to feel that you will keep them safe. The next point I'm going to make, and this is again as far as a child who is in an environment where they are experiencing chaos and tragedy, or a child who is not within that environment but is picking up on it, and that is to provide a atmosphere where the child can talk about their fears and their feelings and to help them label it. You can tell your child, it seems like you're feeling scared, you must feel worried, I understand. Let them talk it out. Oftentimes as parents, it's very difficult to hear one's child talking about their fears because it brings up for the parent a sense of perhaps insecurity as far as their ability to keep their child safe and secure. And so oftentimes, like I said, parents will respond with, don't worry about it, everything is fine. And they're really saying that to make the parent feel better, but it's not making the child feel better. So listen to what your children have to say. Remind them that they can talk to you about their feelings and help them to label what they are feeling. And also, oftentimes, those of you who follow me know that I say this, help them to bring it to how they're feeling physically in their body. So you might tell them when you're feeling very afraid, tell me what that feels like for you in your body. Do you feel your heart beating fast? Do you feel a pit in your stomach? Are your hands shaking? Maybe you feel an overall tiredness or a headache. Help them to understand it. Sometimes they're feeling these things physically and they don't understand what the emotions are. So again, help them to label the emotions and give them an atmosphere for them to be able to talk about it freely. Another point that I'm going to make, and that is, I hope it goes without saying, but oftentimes we forget. And again, today's day and age, we have such easy access via our phones or computers to everything that's going on, both locally and around the world. It's so easy to be on your phone or be on the phone either looking on the internet, looking on Facebook, be on your phone talking to perhaps peers or family members about anything that may be going on that can be, like I said, creating chaos or tragedy. Be careful about talking about these things in front of your children. Even the little children, you may think, they don't understand what I'm saying, they don't hear me, they're playing quietly on the other side of the room, they don't understand what I'm saying. Children pick up on it. And even if they don't understand what you're saying, they're picking up on your feelings. They're picking up on what the tone of your voice is saying. If you yourself is upset about it and you're feeling angry or anxious or sad or worried, they pick up on it. That's not to say that you push them away altogether from what you are feeling. You can tell them, I also feel sad, I also feel scared, I also feel anxious. But again, we want to try to protect them. We don't want to overexpose them. So be cognizant of how much you are on your phone, whether it be talking or, like I said, maybe you're reading things on your phone and you're having a reaction. The last and most important point to make, and that is while speaking with your children about the chaos and tragedy that they may be aware of or experiencing, keep giving them the message that I will do everything in my power to keep you safe. Tell them, as a parent, as your parent, that is my job. My job is to keep you safe. And you tell that to them again and again and again. So when you're helping them to label their emotions, like I mentioned earlier, when you're helping to create an atmosphere where they could talk openly, and they talk with you and they tell you, I feel scared, I feel worried, you label their emotions, like I said, tell them, I understand you feel scared and you feel worried. It makes sense to feel that way, I understand it, but you should know I will do everything in my power to keep you safe. That is my job. And say it again and again and again. I would refrain from telling them, nothing ever is going to happen, don't worry, everything is okay, because unfortunately, if you're living in an area where there is chaos and tragedy, there's a possibility that you can't guarantee that. And so better to say, I promise you I will do everything in my power every single moment to keep you safe. Again, keep reiterating that again and again. And when you tell them how you're feeling, like I mentioned, if they're picking up on a conversation that you're having and they're hearing the emotions in your voice, it's an opportunity to model for them what you are feeling, is to say, I also feel scared and I also feel anxious, but I want you to know I will do everything to keep you safe. It's also helpful to tell the children very explicitly what kind of things you do to keep them safe, or what kind of things in their environment keep you safe. This is actually something that I go into more details about in my Scared Child webcast that you can access on my website, shalomisscherylmayerfeld.com. So this is today's Lightbulb Moments. As always, I hope that this was helpful, and I encourage feedback. Please send me questions, comments, any ideas of anything that you would like to hear about. Thank you.